What's going on? Welcome back to our channel. We're the Jordan fam. Today we are talking about part 2 of our love story. You can see part 1 up here. Watch that first. We're going to talk about really our dating before we got married and how we knew each other was the one. All right, let's roll.
I knew right away that I was going to marry him. Sounds really weird, but honestly, the first night we talked on the phone, I just knew. It's just weird. I don't know. I just knew.
Yeah.
And but as our dating life progressed, it got really tumultuous. We had a lot of insecurities that we had to overcome, and just past issues that we had to get over. But through it all, just because all of our values and everything lined up, I never had a doubt. And then in the last video, we said, we didn't kiss when we were dating. So we got engaged 6 months after we met.
6 months.
So we spent that entire 6 months, and then we got married. Sorry, we got engaged 6 months after we met, and then we got married a year after we met. So we spent that entire year just getting to know each other. Every time we saw each other, we were just talking, hanging out, getting to know each other.
Yeah.
So we really, really knew each other by the end of it, and we knew that there were no red flags. There was nothing that each other, even through our fights that we had, there was nothing that was oh, this is a deal breaker. This is a big deal.
Yeah.
Most of it was gosh, I can't even.
It was just stupid stuff. Honestly, for me, most of it was insecurities in the past. Our biggest thing, problem was girls, and hers was guys. And not
in life.
In
not
life.
when we started dating.
No, not in our dating. Whoa.
But in the past, it was.
But
past.
This is all past. Yeah. Whoa, we were committed here. Whoa, this would have been a bit different video title. Like and subscribe for that. No, but it'd been past moral failures. Past just not putting God first, right? And our whole relationship, most of the issues were from those insecurities, from all those mistakes we made. That's why we made the video we made about not kissing before marriage, because we would hope that we could help you not make the same mistakes we did, because that was sort of a little cloud on our relationship. And it took me a very long time to let those things go. I mean, it's still a struggle.
Maybe a few months ago.
Maybe a few months ago. Even into our marriage, it affected us. But basically, we knew that besides all that stuff, our values lined up, right? And we both believe in God, we believe in Jesus. So when you have the same worldview, right? Our worldview is the Bible, because this might sound real boring, but hear me out, okay? Because we believe this life isn't all there is. One day you're gonna die. We all are. Sorry to be morbid. And what we do on earth matters here, right? So to have someone who believes in not just these temporal things about chasing money or this or that, not that any of those things are bad, but realizing that God is the purpose of life and glorifying Him and living your life for Him. Once you start looking at life like that, it changes things, right? So that's how she looked at life, and that's how I did. And so I was I just knew she was the one right then and there. I mean, we met, if you saw our first video, at a homeless shelter in downtown Los Angeles. So I knew she had a heart right away, for God and serving others, and she knew that I did. So that's one thing I would say to you. If you're looking for someone, stop looking. That's the first thing. Not that it's a bad thing to look, but I would say more fall more in love with God. This sounds so if I heard this, I would be don't tell me this. This sounds so bad. But honestly, try to just serve God and be in church, or go on a missions trip, or do you know what I'm sort of saying?
Yeah, the more you obey God and follow God, the sooner He'll bring it. If
Yes.
that makes sense.
Yes. The right person.
Yeah.
There might be someone right now that you're trying to make the right person, and we did that in the past, and it only just leads you with more hurt.
And I think sometimes God makes you wait. It's God could have made me meet Tommy at 16, and that would have been nice and fun, and we would have had a lot more time together. But God knew that we weren't ready. If we met at 16, or would be 16, you'd be 21.
I would go to jail.
No, it would have been a disaster, because he wasn't mature enough. He wasn't over all of these issues that he had.
Yeah.
And I wasn't either. I was so just insecure and so God knew that us meeting at this certain time was perfect for us because he literally
Totally.
made us meet right when both of us were
Totally.
like
Like,
ready to fall
yeah.
in. And like that worked out so perfectly because
Yeah.
like we weren't able to ruin what he gave us.
Totally.
You know, like we had ruined all the
Other
other
things.
stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So we spent that next year. She was a senior in college in San Diego. I was working, going to college, and I would drive hours to see her. And we did whatever it took for the relationship because we knew it was from God and it was a gift from God. And we did that part well. We were fully committed to one another and like really like doing the best for the relationship, I guess, for God. Like,
Yeah, and I was just gonna say, so the reason why we decided to get married so quickly, 'cause
Yeah.
that might sound quick to you.
Totally.
We knew that we wanted to get married, and so basically we were like, why wait? You know, we were both, I was like about to get out of college, and he was like 25. So
Yeah.
it's not like we were 16.
totally.
And so like we knew that we were ready to get married, and we picked like a year after because that was when I graduated, and that was the easiest, like most convenient time.
Yeah.
And we were also living 2 hours apart. So like whether Tommy was at the mission or at his grandma's house and I was in the desert or San Diego, we were always 2 hours apart.
Yeah.
And that made it so hard to carry on a relationship. And so we were like, why are we going to put ourselves through this for another, who knows, like 6 months, a year, so that it's like, not that it sounds good, but like so that people are like, oh, why are you getting married
So it looks
fast? Like,
mature.
yeah, like we just knew, and we were like this is not like an easy or a healthy way to like do a relationship so
Yeah.
far apart.
Yeah.
So like we were like, okay, we'll just do it, you know, when I graduate and be done. And the other thing I was gonna say is like, you know, people always say like, oh, Christians just get married to have sex. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna say that that's not true, but
Yeah.
like we didn't get married to have sex,
No.
but we knew that like, why are we gonna wait and date 3 years and put ourselves through more temptation when we know that each other
Yeah.
is the right person?
Yeah.
Like that's not the right thing to do. Like just because you want to have sex, like if you want to have sex, don't get married. Okay?
It's true.
Marriage is a lot harder than waiting to have sex.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
don't do that.
Yeah.
But like if you know that it's the person, then I say why wait? Unless you're in high school,
Totally.
please don't do that.
And that's what that's maybe if you're Amish. That's what helped us, honestly, to know who the right person was because we weren't kissing. Like we weren't having sex. We weren't doing anything sexual. So it's
There's nothing
like
to cloud our judgment.
nothing to cloud. You know, they say love is blind. I think lust is blind. And a lot of time, all those emotions and like hot nights, all that like stuff, you know, that starts to stink, but it starts off like sweet. You know, sin is fun for a season. That's what the Bible says. You know, it clouds your judgment. So how do you really know that it actually could be the right one? You might be with someone right now, God has that person for you, but you're doing all that stuff and it's like distracting from actually getting to know the person and seeing like what God has for your relationship. So I think for us, like since we weren't doing that stuff, we really knew if we were right for each other. We actually both have very strong personalities and we could clash a lot because we're both like kind of alpha dogs. But other than that, we knew it was just like, it was perfect. It was like, it was perfectly imperfect, perfect kind of thing, if that makes sense. And we knew it was it, and I knew how to lock it down quick, put a ring on it. In case you're wondering how I ended up getting the ring on her finger, well, I went and got an engagement ring, and I was in Los Angeles, hours away from San Diego, okay? You could see here on a map. And that thing was burning a hole in my pocket. It happened to be finals week for her senior year in college. And it really wasn't the best thing to do, but I was like messaging her, and I think she had a feeling. I was at like a company holiday party, and I literally drove down like 2.5 hours to San Diego.
And I told him not to come.
She told me not to come. And I got her like 72 roses, right?
I don't know, 6 dozen.
Like 6 dozen roses. So do the math. 6 dozen, I got them from like a local Ralph's, and like we met. And by the way, Point Loma, where she went to school, has like the most amazing, beautiful ocean views. But it was nighttime, so there was no ocean views. And we were in a parking lot above the ocean.
First, you drove me around multiple like places, and he would like stop, and then he'd be like, no, I don't really like this, let's go somewhere else, for like 20 minutes, okay? And it's like 10 o'clock and it's finals week, and I'm like not having it.
She was stressed out of her
So
mind.
we get
I was
to-
nervous.
So he takes me to a parking lot.
Yeah.
Which like it was like on the cliffs, but like yeah, like you said,
It's
it was
dark.
nighttime. And he was like get out of the car, and I was like, no. I was like,
Yeah.
it's cold, I'm not getting out of the car.
Yeah.
He was like, please get out of the car. He had to like beg me. I was like,
Fail, guys. See, things don't always end up good. And I basically opened the trunk, and what did I do? I just started handing you like a dozen roses
yeah,
each.
one at a time.
One at a
He
time.
said, I think he said like 6 dozen roses, one for every month that we've been dating.
Yeah.
We've known each other. And then pop down on your knee. Pulled
Yeah.
out the ring, said a bunch of sweet stuff I don't remember. I was just like, you know.
Oh, and then she said yes. That was it. And she, of course, like every girl, and now if you're gonna do it, guys, like get a photographer to be there to take a picture of the moment.
Yeah, we didn't even have a picture.
She wished we had like a selfie
We had a
from
selfie,
the iPhone,
and then like the selfie like looks like the ring's on the wrong finger because the iPhone like turns it or something. It was just like,
yeah. And then the next day she has like 7 dozen roses or whatever to like cut.
No. When I get home at like midnight, I had 6 dozen roses to like cut and put in water and find bases
Yeah.
for. It was sweet, but like I was like, please don't come.
Yeah. Yeah. And then her roommates were like, she ended up having a
Of
little
course,
fun.
I was happy after. But
Yeah.
Like,
You were like, there was moments where you were not happy.
yeah. Well, because you know, I wanted it to be like something that I could like enjoy, you know. But it was like
Yeah.
11 o'clock, and I was like, okay, I have to go home and go to bed
And
like,
go to class the
sleep
next
so I could
day.
go to finals
I
tomorrow.
know. I would have done that differently.
So it wasn't something that I could really like
Yeah.
enjoy.
Yeah.
But it was fun telling my roommates the next day and stuff.
Yeah, that's our engagement story. That was a bonus. Well, if you want part 3, make sure you like and subscribe. That's what you got to do to get part 3 of our first year of marriage. And say hi in the comments. And Jordan fam,
Jordan for your mouth.
thank you guys for watching. Yeah, plan your engagement, guys. Bye.